tank. Make your mother proud of you and the old red, white, and blue. Over there, over there.
Jonathan Casey, Director, Archives, and the Edward Jones Research Center in Kansas City, Missouri. The National World War I Museum and Memorial started back at the end of World War I, around Armistice Day of 1918. Actually, there was a newspaper editorial at the time saying that Kansas City should build a memorial to those who served, and especially those who sacrificed from Kansas City. They had a site dedication in 1921 here, was kind of the first thing that happened. They had a big ceremony. Then the construction began about 1923 and lasted a few years. The building was completed in 1926. There was a ceremony on November 11th, Armistice Day, 1926, that President Calvin Coolidge attended. He said he brought the authority of the federal government to this memorial and kind of made it unofficially the national memorial at the time. Edward Jones Research Center is an integral part of the National World War I Museum and Memorial. So there's the two functions that we have pretty much of the research center. It's our research library, generally people we help finding relatives who served in the wars. It's also available for researchers who make appointments. So we have either documents or somebody wants to look at uniforms or firearms or something, then we accommodate those people, and then they can spend as much time as they need with these objects. The Ellis Gallery is a showcase for some of the collection that we have that we can put on exhibit, like some artwork. We have a fairly large collection of posters from all the countries that were involved in the war. They're just so interesting in the look, all this information that one can get from a poster. We're fortunate to have such a sizable collection that we can work with. Probably the most significant object would be our French FT-17 Renault tank. There's only a few that exist in the world. It actually was a tank that was used in combat and it was hit by an enemy artillery shell, so it's got damage on it. It represents really a piece of technology. Tanks were created in World War I, and then that kind of technology that developed so quickly and throughout the war and after the war. And it's just amazing that it survived and that we have it here. The poppy field display at the National World War I Museum and Memorial was inspired by the poem In Flanders Fields by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. There are 9,000 artificial poppies, and each one representing 1,000 combatant deaths, and became kind of the international symbol of the war, and it's used today. People wear poppies on Armistice Day to recognize that, the loss of life.